Ready? All right, ready to go?
Yep.
All right. Call me to order at 5:35, excuse me. Roll call. John Pell. Brian Martin.
Melinda Thane.
Everybody's here, we do have one vacancy. All right. Item 2, business comments. Anyone?
Can you move it to the end?
Excuse me?
Could you move it to the end? Would that be okay? This is nothing right now, but.
Whatever, somebody want to make a motion? Move
What's the question? To move up there for today?
Just to move the visitors' comments and questions to the end. That's all.
Mr. Chair, I'd like to make a motion to move visitors' comments and questions.
Put it in after item 12 or item 13? After item 13.
Sure.
Is that okay?
Second.
Motion and a second. Any further discussion?
Moment, sure.
Hearing and seeing none, all in favor?
But he has a,
Oh, go ahead.
All right, and I'd like to add on to that we limit it time to people up to speak.
I agree with that.
Okay.
You could come up with a 5, 10 minute, whatever, per person.
10 minutes is kind of long. 5 is long. Yeah.
Two.
All right.
2 minutes?
Two if I even need it.
Okay.
It's just because everything comes up at the end.
All in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. All right. Item 3, accept the minutes of the February 28, 2023 meeting. I have a couple of questions. Okay. Anybody have anything else you want me to go?
I don't remember, that's why I'm asking you.
Yes.
That's, okay.
So, in the minutes, under unfinished business, this is the vote. This has to do with the executive director's increase. That was, did you have a question too?
Yeah.
Because I thought that it was, Seth voted against and, Co-op voted in favor. That was my understanding. Anybody, I was gonna go back and look at the,
Yeah, it was the ayes and nays, and then the percentage. I wasn't, it says 2.8, but I didn't recall what the actual percentage was.
other, but Bob, did you vote? You voted in favor of the raise, correct? That was my understanding. I was gonna go back and look at that, so there's no.
Yeah, that 2.8% raise?
Yeah,
Yeah, well, that's all we're gonna give her, that was it.
so that needs to be changed, if there's no objection.
No, less than half.
So what they were saying is that the nays, Bob was actually an aye.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah.
So,
Except was it no? And then under new business, motion by Brian Martin, second by Don Lampron, to allow members to allow a member of November 21st, 2022 special meeting. The motion was made, it wasn't to allow a member. It was just to, sorry, it was just, just to allow, just to reconsider the vote, not to allow anybody, even though that was the reason for it, but that wasn't part of my motion. So if there's no objection, then that can be changed, removed,
What do you suggest for wording?
So it was just, the motion was to allow a member to, it wasn't to allow a member to consider the vote of November 21st, 2020 meeting.
So motion and vote to reconsider the board
So
vote for November
we need to
21st.
remove the words allow a member. It was a vote, motion to reconsider reconsider the vote, not there.
No, we'll put S right here.
You want to swap, hey, you want to swap spots? Don?
No,
No?
not across. Thank you.
So you know what I was saying? The vote of November 21st, special meeting minutes, not to allow a member. And then we redid the revote, and then went down the way we went down.
And what is, that's what it says here, right?
It says motion and vote. My motion was to reconsider the November 21st, 2022 special meeting.
All right.
No objections, we can make those changes. Motion to accept the minutes as amended.
So moved.
Motion second, further discussion. Hearing seen none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Okay. Treasurer's report. Accountants report for February 28th, accounts payable and payroll for February 28th, expansion fund accounting report February 28th.
Got a couple of questions, Mr. Chair. We show a negative balance on some items, and is that negative balance going to go away at the end of the fiscal year?
That just shows that we've overspent those line items.
Like it shows overspent by 17,000 and 1,000.
Well, at the top there, this is revenue, so we took more revenue in than we budgeted.
So we took in, but it shows a negative 17,000.
Right, because we took in more than what was budgeted. So that would show in the negative. This here shows that we haven't taken in enough on the rents as of end of February.
Okay.
So, let me just do this.
Yeah, on the second page, it just shows negative. On the materials and supplies, 12,339, 16,000 of them, so a total of 20,335. Are we under? I mean, we, budget would we,
We spent more than what we budgeted.
and where does that money come from?
Comes out of our operating reserve. It reduces down our operating reserves.
So when we get to that,
And that's until when is the budget in?
But one more month, this is through February, so
Month of March.
it's not much.
All set? So what does it show, I'm piggyback on Bob, where does it show the revenue? That, is it go over by 3,000, is that what, collected more, is that what you're saying? Budgeted 18, go over by 3, that's where we get the 17, correct? All right, is there a motion to, you want to do all in one, or you got questions with other stuff?
No, I mean, we did all together. You want to do the expansion as well?
Yep, as well.
I'll make a motion to accept the report, items A, B, and C, which is the accounts report, accounts payroll, and also the expansion fund account.
A second. Motion and a second. Just a quick question, again, I know it's Weston and Sampson, do they always have problems with the pump station, or do they have a contract or something?
Well, they come out for quarterly, plus we get the protein matrix that goes in that helps break down all the grease and grime.
What do they do for it? Just clean it?
Clean it, and then they also inspect 3 generators, one for the pump station, the senior building, and this community building.
All right, no further discussion? Opposed?
Abstain, actually.
So that is carries 3-0. Correspondence, DHCD award letter for the septic system connection. Questions, comments, anybody?
I was happy to see they come up with dough.
So this is coming out of the DHCD emergency, in addition to what our formula funding set aside for this project.
There you go.
We have money in our formula funding that we set aside for the project. DHCD came up with another 100,000 from their emergency reserves to add to that money.
I get down the road to take it out eventually. Out of the formula funding.
Yeah, well, when the payments come through, yeah, everything will come out of formula funding, but they've added another 100,000 to it.
Now, because I'm glad to see they kind of going to do it, number one, you're glad to see it come up with the line.
Yeah, so I mean, so my question on this, is this the 100K, potentially more depending on the bids, what I read, but does this include the sewer, the actual connection fee? Or is this just for shovels in the ground?
It should cover whatever needs to be done with the project.
Help slope permits and all that stuff.
The civil engineer will be going through all of that when he draws up all the plans and finds out what he's gonna have to come up with for a connection fee.
Alright. I guess I'm getting ahead of myself because I was just gonna ask, you can check with the sewer department to find out if they're just gonna do like because it's a housing authority nonprofit, if they're gonna do like a connection fee, because I know usually it goes by like toilet, right? However many toilets there are.
They already have the letter that Jeff Hannaford had done back when Rick was on the board and had gotten the letter.
So I can tell you what I know from before I was on the housing, what happened on the sewer, is when they were doing phase 1, they were doing it was a betterment project. So everybody on the project was in charge of betterment. The town, they kicked in, I think, I don't know, the equivalent to like 6%, which would be their buildings. And the sewer department took over debt from the town, CWD, so everybody was paying a little bit of something. But the housing authority was adamant about not participating in helping out with the betterment, so to speak. So they, and that was, I think, Rick Valeo. So the sewer department was saying, well, it's time, and you pay the fees that would be allowed, because everybody else on the line is paying something from the line. And the housing authority didn't want to chip in, didn't want to do that. We couldn't charge it for betterment. So that's what I know based on some of the sewer. But when this comes before the sewer, so I will be abstaining, so we won't have the invoice over there. But that's the reason. Because everybody else pitched in, residents paid a betterment, the town paid percent, and the sewer department pitched in with it, picking up the debt, which was a little more than 6%, I think. So that's how that went down.
Probably a sewer consultant will go to a sewer commission meeting.
I think the way
Next question.
Rick was looking at it as, is if, per se, just say this was down there, Littlefield, like, if town-owned buildings, and the town, the sewer department wouldn't charge a town building a betterment fee or connection fee. So Rick was saying that, yeah, I think in his mindset is that this is a quasi-town, government, entity, and that's why he believes that there shouldn't be any betterment fees or even connection fees.
But
for
the
the town.
betterment couldn't be charged because the way the law is written, municipalities can't be charged betterment. So that's why voluntarily do what they did, sewer department did what they did, and we asked the housing authority, the answer was no. So that's all that went down way back then.
Yeah.
Way back.
Yeah.
2 years ago, 3
Yep.
years ago.
Yeah, like 3 years, whatever it was.
That's my recollection of that.
All right.
And it was with the project manager or the engineer with the meeting
Exactly.
with all the departments anyway.
Right.
I'm speaking here way ahead of the
Yeah.
game, like, like.
Well, this is, I think, for design, correct? Is that what this is? Yeah, cover design and then the other initial soft costs. So once they get a design and they've worked out, granted the sewer department, they'll approve the design.
We'd like to see them in there,
Make
should have been there prices, I just said we got $100,000. So.
Yeah, right.
So, well, I guess it's a little premature too, just thinking that, to go to Don's point about paving the driveways. I don't know where or how we'll be cutting up the driveways here, right?
So if you're bringing up.
So at some point, we'll probably want to look at that.
That's what we're holding for, we wanted to be strike, we identified handicap spots to seal it,
Yeah.
back built.
Right.
So, and we can bring it up once we go through these correspondence. And,
Okay.
All right.
anyways, I'll make a motion to accept correspondence as presented.
A second?
All three? Merrimack Valley Housing, Mass Narrow. Just under discussion real brief. I noticed on one of these, I don't know if it was Mass Narrow. Yeah, I think it was Mass Narrow. There's something in here about smoking, a conference or something. I'm trying to figure out. Some type of, we were talking at the last meeting, we were complaining about residents not adhering to their lease about motion smoking, specifically says that. And the question was,
That one of them, when they go on
It's at the
a
conference.
computer, when they
it's at the conference? So, did they have, did they have, what's it called? They were smoking policy enforcement. Are you going to the conference? Are you going to the conference? So, I'm wondering if it would benefit somebody to attend.
So I have a call into the attorney, we're going to next month when she's back from vacation.
I'm sure that's what this is, right? So send one. Maybe we can, get the literature from that. All right, I just thought that would be helpful to the residents. All right, any further discussion? You're gonna see none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous. Executive Director's report.
We currently have 2 vacancies. They're both on the first floor. And then we have 2 second floors opening up, and actually we just found out that we're going to have a third one. So we're going to have 3 more vacancies coming up on the second floor. There's 7 open work orders currently. And the guys had, without having any vacancies to work on and no snow removal, they've started patching holes and painting the common hallways here at Gurney Terrace. We have the 2 upcoming capital improvement projects is the connect to the sewer here. Of course, the replacement of the fire panels for all 3 developments. The budget is back in the packets, and the only the accountant made was the executive director salary, and the maintenance DLI rates came in time to get them put into the budget. All the tenants' rent recertifications are all done and complete, and sorry.
What was the last thing?
Of the tenants' rent recertifications are all done.
That's it on the executive director's report. Motion, is there a motion to accept the executive director's report?
So moved.
Second. Motion and second, further discussion? Hearing seen none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. All right, maintenance report. Excuse me, vacancy report we did, but we can. So we went to the maintenance report.
So they've done some of the extra cleaning. They cleaned the common hallways here. Of course, we did have a little bit of snow removal. The community room bathroom at Red Pine got repainted, and like I said, they started the common hallways here.
So, I guess we could have a motion to approve 7 and 8, which is vacancy report and maintenance report.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Favor? Aye. Opposed? Unanimous. All right, finished business. This is just a motion to allow me to reconsider, which is done now. Unfinished business, discussion on board of information. Do we have information on that?
That's that stuff that we've carried over the past 2 months that I sent out.
Oh, okay.
What is it now?
Just discussion on Board of Health and from the last 2 months in the packet. Just violation from the board.
Well, I'll do the package.
I'm trying to remember what it was.
No, I have questions.
No, I'm trying to remember what the Board of Health issues were. Because I think I missed the discussion about this meeting. If I remember correctly. You had questions on the Board of Health stuff?
The last meeting on the one before, I think we talked about doing preventive maintenance for pest control to avoid Board of Health. To avoid, or trying to avoid a tenant call and say we have pest control. I didn't think that.
Yeah.
And the town with their guys put in the budget.
Did anything get changed in the budget?
We already have them come in and do preventative stuff. They come in the treat stuff.
How often they do that?
They come in the spring for ants and bees. And then then in the fall, they come in and put stuff down for the mice, but I mean, still some get in.
That was the,
I think the discussion could be, if we could act on it before somebody went to the courthouse. Get into, do we have a good preventive maintenance program for pest control?
well, either way, right, before somebody calls the Board of Health, they probably should be calling the office first, right?
Yeah.
I don't know if that happens or not. Did it happen in that case?
In both cases it did, they just didn't like what we did, and the pest control people did the exact same thing we did.
On that subject, what could we do starting like in May for this pest control that you're talking about? We have all these buildings here. What would you recommend that we do? How could maintenance station try and prevent the animals from getting in on it? But is there something we should be spreading around the grounds or doing every 2 weeks or something from a maintenance standpoint, so that we could do this proactively, as you say, so that way there we could kill the bugs before they got there? Now, what could we do to take and, what could maintenance do to take and, they could put something all around the buildings, in the hallways?
I mean, normally it'd be the brought in from groceries or from somebody else's. Well, the desert or garbage can, groceries, garbage bag outside.
They can spray around your foundation and all that. I mean, I had my house treated, not like I had any bugs, so, but you gotta pay for it. They come in, I think, quarterly or something.
So
So,
we have to have an outside contractor, or can we do it in maintenance in here?
Normally have to be licensed.
Yeah.
Up to a certain
Yeah.
product they can do.
Exactly.
And usually the stuff that I'll say the layperson, the average Joe homeowner, the chemicals that he gets is only like a tenth of the strength of like what a professional uses. So you get what you pay for.
Do you know if the HED has training people to get certified for pest control?
I've never seen anything come through.
No, but
Nobody regard that.
no, they have their maintenance, seminars, they have classes sometimes, different pest control people in.
It's in-house, it's a lot of money.
Absolutely.
But you have to be
Maybe that's something that Tom would be interested in getting his bug license. I don't know what they call it, but pest control.
It's just, I don't know, I mean, it sounds good, right, but my guess is they probably can't keep up with what they have, right?
At least we're proactive. So
Right,
we
yeah.
can say, we have a plan, this is what we're doing, maybe we have to enhance something.
It's in place.
So, I mean,
I mean, I haven't pitched the idea to have Melinda pitch the idea to Tom, see if he would like to do that, and then the
Or
interim,
another
or another employee, correct. I'm sorry for speaking out of turn, whatever, but see if they would do that, and then additionally, in the interim, maybe increase the pest control from or spring twice a year to monthly for right now, until our in-house maintenance workers get licensed so they can start doing it. Because once they get licensed, they can buy the better chemicals, stuff that at cost way cheaper than the regular person. Just an idea. I mean,
That's emotional, second.
sometimes, I mean, sometimes people just aren't happy until they see it professional, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
But, I mean, a pro certification is the same as another pest certification.
I get it, I'm just telling them how it is.
That's
How I see it, I should say.
So, Don, we made that into a motion, I guess, so he seconds.
So the motion and a second, any further discussion? Just clarification on the motion, is it to do it, or is it to look into?
HCD offers money for training. If not, can we offer to an employee to go get licensed?
Yeah, I think we can definitely offer it. just how much does it cost?
Yeah, I mean,
We'll look into it.
but I mean, yeah, exactly, I mean, and it would be on the same grounds of, okay, if whichever employee goes to get that certification, the housing authority would pay for it as long as they had a passing grade or license, it would be paid for.
Yeah.
And then, we would have our own in-house person, and they would have the same thing, like, what is it, like, he has to stay here for 1 year after he gets, whatever the same,
I'll look up what we did the last.
yeah, whatever, the same verbiage that we used before when he went to school. Or, which, it could be the other employee that wants to, get certification, but,
No, wait, one more answer, we have to report health, if a tenant has a problem, we report health, okay?
yeah,
That's what we implemented, what we got, that's what we do.
exactly.
So,
And
and that's all.
if we have a professional in-house exterminator, he can have a whole plan. This is my plan, X, Y, and Z,
Right.
All right.
All right, so there's a motion, all in favor? Opposed? Vote to approve the FY '24 budget to be submitted to DHCD.
These are the actual motions, because it's 3 separate budgets, and this is what's the same verbiage that's on the report that's going to be.
Is this what needs to be read?
That's the actual motion that's on the certification pages that everybody will have to sign.
Yeah, sure.
Mr. Chair, I move that the proposed operating budget for state-aided housing of the Tyngsborough Housing Authority, Program 400-1, for the fiscal year ending 3/31/2024, showing a total revenue of $686,755.00, and a total expense of $734,904.00, thereby requesting subsidy of $9,809.00, and further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $64,574 for fiscal year ending 3/31/24 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
I have a question.
Is there a second?
Second for discussion?
I'll second for discussion.
Okay, discussion.
Okay, the new executive director's salary is $12,574. That comes up to the same amount we talked about with half of what DHED, it's what we voted on.
Yeah, the last meeting, right?
That's what that is. Good, thank you.
Okay.
So, I got a question too now. Why does the executive director's salary have to be spelled out in the motion when we approve the budget? And
It's a change that DHCD never used to have to, but they made that change in the last 3 years. But they want it as part of the motion.
But it's in the budget, right?
It's in the budget,
So,
and there's one on there that you have to sign, but that's what you voted on.
all right, any further discussion?
No.
Here, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye, opposed? Unanimous.
I move that the proposed operating budget for state-aided housing of the Tyngsborough Housing Authority, Program 689-1, for the fiscal year ending 3/31/2024, showing total revenue of $3,918.00 and total expenses of $32,300.00, thereby requesting a subsidy of $0.00, and further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $64,574.00 for fiscal year ending 3/31/2024 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
Second.
So, motion and a second, any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Unanimous.
Mr. Chair, I move that the proposed operating budget for state-aided housing, state-aided housing of the Tyngsborough Housing Authority Program, MRVP, ending 3/31/2024, showing total revenue of $1,203.00 and total expenses of $1,100.00, thereby requesting a subsidy of $0.00. And further, that the executive director's total annual salary of $64,574.00 for fiscal year ending 3/31/2024 be submitted to the Department of Housing and Community Development for its review and approval.
Second. Motion and a second. Any further discussion? Hearing and seeing none, all in favor? Aye. Opposed?
And after, before you leave,
You want these back?
I can say after that, it's just easier to type it out for everybody to read it than to.
Okay.
I don't, you can keep it if you want it, I don't need it back, it's just easier for everybody to have it in front of them.
This calculation sheet, is that there as part of the budget?
That's, yeah, that was part of it, and you'll have to, this.
Yeah, but not this.
That was just what she sent over with the budget.
Okay.
So then you'll just have to sign this and the certification pages that go with this DHU and I submitted.
C, Executive Director's evaluation response. Anybody?
Sure, I'll stop.
Sorry guys, sorry. I'm gonna make it up someday, I don't know
Change it right.
I'll start.
Yeah.
Okay, your comments, on second line connects a tenant board member to some examples of conversation with residents. Here sitting up from time to time, a tenant board member is also at meetings, made a comment, and of course, the resident makes a call, they're always going to make it themselves. Like the good guys. This was a comment made last year, but definitely not an issue this year. I would like a response back. I think if we want a response, we need to do it differently. Because I still have notes even from the last year of tenants' concerns. And some of them will fortunately go back a year. That'd be more than happy to do that. And then the other one I also want to, if anyone has treated residents in a professional manner, that will be Brian. Our last meeting, when the residents spoke up at the meeting, Brian really told her that they're not concerned here, but yet always allows people to speak when it's not in the visitor comment section. I remember the last meeting, Seth saying to a woman that we should have spoken, or attendants should speak before the meeting, which we're going to change. But that's remembered. Can you refresh my memory of what happened there? And then I'll continue on the list. I remember Seth saying, again, my hearing was terrible, but I know Seth speaking to the tenant, and I'm assuming it's a tenant.
Well, Seth was speaking because they weren't there for visitor comment section. They had asked to have it moved. they wanted to speak at the end. But this was during a discussion that was being held by the board.
So, was set rude or was it fine?
Ryan's the one that told them that it wasn't any of their business. Seth was the one that they wanted to speak because they missed the visitor comment section, because I had asked Seth if they could speak, because they came up to me.
Right, so they could either look back at the tape or whatever, just to see.
So,
I remember Seth
I
saying,
don't recall, I personally don't recall you ever telling somebody that was none of their business. But, I mean, I could be wrong. I mean,
that's why.
I guess, I mean, I'm with Dawn, just if the executive director can email us the audio recording from our last meeting, so we can review just to.
Then there was another one here. A note from the executive director. There's a couple more. One of them was, what I felt was a hazard left after a car hit, and I still feel that way, even though it doesn't move its own. I'd like to relook at the tape, and if there's stuff laying on the ground, as far as I'm concerned, it's a hazard. But I could be wrong. There was another one here that I noticed. It just, it's my memory's right. One of our workers knew it was an accident, and I'm kind of going to question why didn't the next worker call the executive director and say, so, somebody had a building.
They did, that's when I found out about it,
Or what day?
Sunday. When they came to see their mom.
Yeah, the way I
Sunday.
said it, there's an irrelevant on Easter, which
Yeah.
is on a Sunday.
Mhm. That's when I noticed on Easter Sunday.
So, anyways. And the other one was, nobody ever explained what type training, like the type I thought of one that I took years ago, and it's hard to deal with difficult people. You know, that lasted a whole day, and it was very good. It showed like 4 different personalities and how you deal with. So that's one I'd like to see you take, like the executive director take. Another class is how to treat, like, in that Easter Sunday, to say that a person was drunk. That's, to me, that's not professional, not the kind of training, whatever training is, what I have to. Those are my comments on the evaluation. I didn't write me, because I don't want to argue about it. The last year I did. That's it. Whatever. That's all I can say.
Anything, Bob? Or? No?
I'm listening, I'm enjoying this.
Me, my thing on there, my file crashed, so, but it was about the, I believe it was the employees, something to the effect of the board kept asking about it, but you, as the executive director, have day-to-day, so on and so forth. The employee was reprimanded, suspended, and it's been over whatever so many months, and he's doing better, even though, like, we asking, you know, has he done anger management, so on and so forth. But now it's like, well, it's all better. Well, it's, in my opinion, it's almost like a person does a crime. Okay, they you know, laid up in a hospital or whatever, and they're hurt or something like that, and then they get out, and they were so nice to the nurses. Well, the crime they committed is no good because he was good during that time, you know, this time period, so he doesn't have to do the time. I mean, you do the crime, you do the time, and the punishment was to go to a class. And I know we're having issues and difficulties trying to find translators, so on, whatever the case may be. But when that does come available, it should still happen. That's, you know what I mean? Like if you get reprimanded,
I know it's supposed to get something back to you, but it's basically a couple of weeks with the HAD says we're still moving on this, and we're going to come up on an answer. But the other stuff we're talking about for last year. They have the documentation online.
I mean, and I understand that this is a employee under you, and that you handle day-to-day, so on and so forth, and your opinion shouldn't have any say in his disciplinary action. And ultimately, that may be the case. But that's what I feel like we still have an obligation to recommend things through you to have done. And if it doesn't happen, then that's a reflection on you. And I think I said that last meeting. So I think out of that whole, I mean, you hit a bunch of topics on how you made a statement of you can please some of them, but you can never please them all. And trust me, I deal with the public on a daily basis, so I know that, and I deal with difficult people at the worst times of their life, and in all those times I have to keep a professional demeanor, attitude, and yes ma'am, no ma'am, not get defensive and stuff like that. So, and to Dawn's point, how to deal with difficult people, that's good. And I think in the trainings that I had recommended to that online site there, they do offer such things. It's virtual, but those virtual things are pretty helpful these days. And some of those were in there. That's all I got. Sorry. What do you think?
I don't know whether it's on the case.
So I just want to say that, just to piggyback what Don said, I didn't speak to anything. I think I was speaking to the chairman. Sorry, but I wasn't going to respond to anything that was in there. When I first saw this, I looked at it in the format, and I thought, this is a good thing, things have changed. Then I started reading it, and it's all the same stuff as I put in your evaluation. So with that, if you could just help.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Before you close, I had something else. But
Okay. Why don't you go?
Okay. The other, I just wanted to add real quick, and it's just you voice your opinion, and that is your opinion. I feel a little bit disappointed at how you brought up the fact of potentially discrimination between man and woman. I'm taken back at how you think that this would be a man and woman thing. It has nothing to do being male and female or whatever. If a male was it, everything would be the same. I don't see.
Problems about maintenance staff, that they get paid whether they have been.
And that has nothing to do with it. That's not what it is. It has nothing to do with sex whatsoever.
on that side, the majority of people would. There's 3 people that were elected, and that's a top down, another 2 are appointed.
Just to piggyback on that, as far as talking about we don't care what the maintenance guys get paid, that's not true. I was the one who was asking the questions about what the percentage was, because I was trying to be fair that everybody gets the same percentage. That's what I was looking at. But we didn't have those numbers, and we couldn't figure it out, so we weren't able to do that. So that's why I brought that up. But I'm just hoping that you can. I was reading this, and you go from 2 over to the next page. It doesn't make any sense. You see what I'm saying? So to explain the details, and it goes, teams are against each other. It's 2 different. I don't understand how this is. Is it not typed, put it in the correct order? And then
No,
the same
it's
thing.
saying that I've attached a letter. Details are on page 2, the letter was attached.
Right, so the next team,
The next one
Team
goes
not
on to the
against each
next, goes on to the next issue.
which is team not against each other, I don't know what that
Number
means.
3. Goes on to number 3.
Doesn't have a number 3. Do you have a? 1, 2, I don't see no number 3. And the same thing with the,
Maybe get the backside of the page.
the same thing with the next page. When it goes from the human resources, calls a lawsuit, and then it goes one of them. It just doesn't, so is it 2 pages missing? Or
I'll send it out.
But, I mean, I just felt passionate with the same thing over and over again. I'm just, when I see the type of answers that are in here like this, it doesn't give me a whole lot of faith in the executive director. So, one thing that she said, I'm gonna do this or I'm gonna do that, it's doubling down on her, whether she thinks they're right. There's no corrective action. I'm going to try to do this. I'm going to do that. It's not my fault. And then the whole thing. Just disheartening. That's all I have to say. Anybody have anything else?
What else?
Go ahead.
The one thing I wanted to tell you is, things are straightened out. I've seen a day-to-day operation here. It's much smoother going. Conditions are a lot calmer. And there is not an uneasiness that there used to be here. I think things are straightened out. Maybe that event brought a lot to be corrected. It was going unmanaged for a long time. And people have chosen other directions to go in. And they've straightened the directions out, and now I think they're heading out. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but taking on a day-to-day basis and working on a positive attitude, or with a positive attitude, I think it's going to be a much better work environment for Grimley, Red Pines, and for the whole housing authority. That's all I got to say.
Hopefully that is, with just understanding this was useful like last year, the year before, what else was before. But the comment I want to make was, there's one board member on this board that's an advocate for the workers in the town. Whether it be a holiday pay, a weekend pay, so on, so forth, so on. There isn't anybody, I know we have an employee in the audience, but he speaks up to the people. He wanted money, if you come to the employees, he speaks up. In fact, some of them I didn't agree with, so I have to be honest. I mean, he's been an advocate for workers. That's all I have to say.
I agree with that statement.
All right, so if there's nothing else, we'll move on. You're gonna send that, it's about another 2 pages, is that what it is? Okay. All right, old business, CPC rep update.
The last meeting I didn't miss, but the agenda was weed control primarily. That's, so they had voted on projects for Sherburne Road, for the open space request. There's some people that submitted a request to do some work over at Sherburne Road at the Nature Center there. And Town Center grant match, I guess they put in for beautification with the center and stuff, and they got a match from that. And there was weed treatments at Massapog, Muscuppick, and Flint Pond. And they started talking about funding of town hall, town center walking path. To make a walking path from over here all the way up to town hall. And then other talk about paying the old town hall debt. They want to pay it off early. So I don't know why they don't do that, but they want to pay it off using CPC reserves. So, that was it.
Nothing on, well, I guess with the Affordable Housing Trust Committee, they probably have another meeting. We probably need to, get a new representative, right?
Correct.
We want to wait till,
I would suggest possibly waiting until we're back at full board. That could be something that the new board member might want to do.
all right, that sounds like a good idea. Should we put that on the agenda for the next meeting so we can, okay, update discussion on future housing, Colvin Road, Indian Lane, either one, anything?
That was
Anybody?
all falling under the Affordable Housing Trust.
Okay, so we don't have any updates on that?
Other than the new governor, I think you may see something shape up on the call. Because desperate need for housing, we have the property with it. The type housing we want with the state needs is probably two different things. But I feel confident, something's gonna happen. Get some money.
Okay, moving on, new business, discussion regarding, I asked the executive director to put that on because at the last meeting, again, the accountant was, in my opinion, she did some things, she said some things she probably shouldn't have. I asked specifically the executive director to look at something about maintenance, replacement of equipment, and things of that nature, and she didn't want to do it. So I'm thinking we need to look at that contract and maybe go out to bid. Not sure when it's up. Do you know when it's up?
Tomorrow, the 31st.
31st?
The new contract should be coming in.
It's too late to advertise.
Well, you have to give them a 90-day
Contract's up to the
notice.
1st of March.
And Melinda was saying we need to give the current accountants 90-day notice.
Do we do that, or do we have,
But what if we don't?
our boss coming in? We won't be concerned. I don't know, right? It feels uncomfortable.
But I just think it wasn't, again, it wasn't appropriate. So, there was just one member that's supposed to come through us next month.
It should be coming in soon. Should hopefully have it for the next meeting.
Can you email the account contract to me? I probably have it somewhere, but. And if it doesn't come in for discussion, just leave that on for the next meeting. If that doesn't come in.
That's real name.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, nothing else on the fee accountant. Discussion regarding vacant board member seat. So I just wanted to let everybody know, check with the clerk, because I wasn't sure if it was too late to get on the, to maybe put on the town ballot. And the answer was, ended up being yes, it's too late. So The process to fill the vacancy is, as you see in the letter that I received from the town clerk's office, is, it's a joint appointment. If there's notification, we notify, the housing authority notifies the board of selectmen when we meet in joint session. So I did that, that's the second letter that I sent the selectmen. So we are on the agenda, I think, for the 10th, 110, to take a vote on a new board member. So the process, if we didn't send that, then it would have been the select appoint somebody on their own without our input.
We need the deadline before.
Yes. Yeah, so I have 30 days to send that. We're not even at 30 days yet. It's already been sent. Talked to the chairman, I talked to the administrator. They're actually they put it on the, I think, the town website for 10 days or
So
so.
that could be, that could probably be, what day of the week is it?
It's on Monday. And I don't know what time yet. I have to confirm
What day is it, the meeting?
on Monday.
Yeah, it's on Monday, yeah.
That would be at town hall.
Yeah, April 10th, I believe it was, right?
Yep, that's on that date, but that's what they were shooting for. April 10th. April 10th at, I think it's 6 o'clock. I talked to Jim Cohane, and he was thinking that they were gonna put it at the beginning, because they didn't think it would be very long. Get in and out, get it.
Oh, but it'll have to be advertised or anything?
Well, it is being advertised right now. According to
And
the
we're gonna
stat,
get copies of it, and it's like, we're gonna get copies of it.
so according to the statute, you don't have to advertise. It doesn't say you got to advertise. But when I had my conversation with Matt, is that they always advertise. So they put it up on the town website, so it was advertised. Supposed to be. I don't know about anybody else. I did hear from one person that was looking to get on, Linda Baum. I don't know if you, I'm sure everybody knows who she is. Been around 100 years. So I told her to put it in writing, and she gets it to me. I will forward it over to the selectmen and give it to you guys. And I don't know if there'll be anybody else. I haven't heard from anybody. So that's where we're at with that. Now, just a question. You spoke to the EACD about this?
Yeah, they just said the same thing, that it's a joint appointment between the housing authority and the selectmen, that the housing authority can make a recommendation to the selectmen.
Yeah, but that's not what you said to me in the text, right? You said that they said it was to the selectmen, not us.
No, I said I had gotten the information, it's not just the selectmen.
Well,
It's a joint, we can, if we have somebody of interest, we can, make a recommendation to the selectmen to appoint.
okay,
The selectmen have to
gonna.
appoint.
I know what you said to me wasn't fair, that's all. All right, moving on. Other business anyway?
I have nothing.
Anyone? All right, go back to item 2, citizens' time. Not citizens' comments, is it? Anybody?
Just a comment, because, and I'm not looking for anything back. But
Can you come up here? I didn't
sure.
work today, or so you get two guys. So yell at me.
Because my name is in your board packet, we were discussing, inspections that have not been done. The residents there that were sitting with me shook their heads the entire time, saying no, that their apartments have not been inspected in many years. So, I'm not gonna go into the other stuff, because I'm gonna say that for another time. That's all I have.
Particularly, are you concerning?
So my name is in your board packet.
Mhm.
I don't like my name in your board packet.
It's not my fault.
I know, I'm not saying you. Not you at all. You.
No, On this inspection thing,
Yep.
what do they expect, or what do you
So
expect?
when I used to live there, we had inspections. We would have, Melinda was supposed to come in and inspect our units to make sure everything was working and make sure, there were no holes in the screens, the doors opened, that the light switches turned on and off, which I know are broken over at my old apartment.
So you mean that Melinda herself,
So she said that she physically goes in and inspects all the apartments. And the residents who I was sitting with said no. Because I looked at them and they shook their head no. I said, has she been in? And so, like I said, it's not a big deal, but were you calling me out in your board packet? I'm going to speak to what I know.
So, all right, anything else?
That's all, nope. Like I said, I do have more, maybe we'll talk.
All right, thank you. So, anybody else? So who does the inspections? You or the maintenance? And then annual?
Both Tom and I have done, but they were halted before because of COVID. DHC told us not to do unit inspections during COVID.
So there should be just 1 year or was it 2 years? Depending on when. So 2 years of no inspections.
And
So the last,
and some units have been inspected, which we have gone into some. We're not doing them all at once, we're doing them selected.
so well, with that being said, I'd like to, is it possible for us to have a third party come in and do the inspections? To see if maybe we can try to figure something out to budget it? Because I know because I used to do it. I used to have to do inspections every unit, and I'm the guy that has to fix everything. So the more you find, the more you gotta fix, right? So, you fix the major stuff, but you don't go looking for some of the things that and that's how we do that drinking. But over time, those inspection work orders were less and less. So the more you keep up with it, the better. And when you do an inspection, it's supposed to be a work order, right? For everything you find on the inspection. So.
No, I'm looking into that.
And then it'll free up some. Obviously there'll be a little bit more work the first couple of years, but over time,
But I'd like to request, we'll get a copy of what's on the inspection reports. Indoor common areas, apartment areas, and the ground, just so we get that dust off my brain. Maybe somebody, when the employee goes and does inspection with one of these stuff.
They don't do common areas, they're just apartments, or do they do common areas?
Well, yeah, as if they're in the common, as they're walking in the common hallway. Yeah, there's not really that much in the common areas.
Oh, right, because these are all connected, right?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
So, I'm a little confused because I think it was at the last meeting, both of us were talking about work or, like inspections, about physically going in, and you had made the comments, I believe, you said, so you have a physical paper right now of an inspection sheet of every single unit in this place.
They should, yes.
And she said, yes, I do. And we were like, okay, good.
But minus the 2 years, I guess.
Well, and that's what, and we, but we were saying this has been going on, and that wasn't added in, but now we're hearing that inspections haven't been done. A couple until pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID was when we lived there, and it wasn't done for at least 5 years.
But
And I'd like to see just a blank one, then I can ask other questions on that, just,
Yeah.
so I'm not doing it.
All right.
Let me understand what's going on here. Linda, you and probably maintenance guy go to every apartment every year and inspect their apartments.
That's what we have been doing, but after COVID, we were doing them selectively because we were keeping down how much traffic goes in and out of the apartments.
Are you planning to resume that activity?
Yeah, we'll go into the ones that we haven't already done.
So you've already done some inspections this year?
Tom did them. Plus the ones that the state does when they come in.
Pardon?
Plus the ones that the state did when they came in.
Yeah, the state has been in, and they come in and select a few apartments.
They'll
to
be
go
coming
through.
in again.
Can we get copies of the one from the state?
You already got them. That's part of the PMR. That's when they come in, when they do the PMR.
Copies of the inspection report for
It's,
each
it's,
unit?
it's part of the units that they went into. It's part of the PMR results. Because that's part of the PMRs.
But that's not the initial inspection report for that unit, correct?
For the unit that they went into. When they
We
went
have, so UK already gave us a thing from the PMR that says they went into unit 35 and
Yeah, you get the results of the PMR and that's attached to it. Because that's part of their, that's what they're doing when they come out here.
was that, is that in through the tablet?
Along with the
Along
AEP
that.
that's done.
Like on a tenant that had a problem, let only when that department had just mentioned, they noticed all that when they did inspections.
But the
See
state-
stains and
When the state came out, they didn't go into that unit. They select which units they want to go into. They don't go into all of them. They randomly
But
select them.
that's why, but if we inspected it, we wouldn't notice it. It would be nicotine. And I'm just saying, I like to say nicotine, because they look like an empty sheet. You know,
Okay.
comment, to see what the line is.
There's a couple of different forms, I think.
We use the DHCD form.
So can you want to get a copy of that?
It's like the nicotine one and the pink, that went to the Board of Health, but if we didn't inspect that yearly, then it's our bad as well.
Okay.
Anyways,
All right, anybody got anything else?
I just, since on that, and Dawn was here, since our last meeting, has there been any other Board of Health concerns, complaints, whatever, anything at all?
Yeah, there's one we're working on. It'll be finalized tomorrow.
Okay.
When the company comes in.
Family, other?
That's-
All right, anybody got anything else?
No.
All right, next board meeting, April 26, 2023, 5:30, Red Pine Terrace. Entertain a motion to adjourn.
so moved.
Motion is second, further discussion, all in favor? Unanimous. Thank you and good night.
Sign it, we will.
Yes, we do.